So welcome everybody to the October accounting call. Hopefully everyone was able to get through with GoToMeeting okay. As you can see on the screen, this is the joke of the month. This was taken in 2005, and if you look closely, it contains three current Horizon members. Superman, looking like no version of Superman I've ever seen, is myself when I was 22, I think. Awesome six-pack, don't have that anymore. On the motorcycle, you may recognize our VP of Operations, Lauren Arb. He is Batman apparently. And then in the bottom right corner is Anthony Collins in Texas. So that was our old Fairstone crew back when we all were young and had very good fashion sense. We also have this action shot with me, Supergirl. And we had this. So we did not get a lot of things done at Fairstone. This photo shoot took an entire day, so be more productive than we were. Although in the bottom left-hand corner of that picture, you can see the golf cart that we turned into the Batmobile. That was my pride and joy. So there's your joke for the month. So again, welcome everybody to the accounting call. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. Hopefully these pictures alone make it worth it, but hopefully we have more information as well that makes it worth it. University of Utah football lost last week. It was a sad day for me, but I expected it, so I'm okay. But it is worth noting. World Series, Mets versus Royals. I don't really care, but Royals be my team over the Mets. I am less excited about them. Pop culture, Star Wars, The Force Awakens. If you're a math nerd like me, then that was a very exciting day. I was one of the millions of people that tried to get tickets right when they got released and basically broke the internet. So I finally had to actually get off my lazy butt and go and buy tickets in person. So if you're like me, you're really hoping that this makes up for the last trilogy, and it's very exciting. Skip over the joke as you've already seen it out in front of you. If you want copies of this, especially before Lauren visits your property, let me know. I can provide them. I'm sure he'll love to see them again. So the pledge point for this month, I'm not going to pull it up on the screen, but it is your goal as a team every month is $0 delinquency. The key part of that line to me is the word team. A lot of times we look at delinquency as being the account manager or whoever takes the payments responsibility, but it really is a team effort. Now lately, Hollywood and the world is really big on Steve Jobs. I'm not the biggest fan of the world, but I did like this quote. It says, great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. Steve Jobs gets credited for a lot of great innovation, and so he should know a thing or two about succeeding. So it's important to really latch onto that aspect of a team. Horizon is very team-oriented. We succeed as a team and we fail as a team. So when it comes to delinquency, don't ever feel that you're alone in that fight, or if it's not your primary responsibility on the site, don't ever think that it's not still going to fall on you to work on that number. It's important because it is key to success on our property that we get that zero delinquent. So it really is a team effort. So I wanted to choose that one to really highlight for the pledge point. Horizon is amazing with delinquency. Honestly, in our over 10 years of existence, more than that now, we have never had this many properties have zero delinquency. So I really am proud of everyone's hard work on it. It really is showing. So thank you. So I don't know if Mark is on the call yet, but I was going to turn the time over to him for a second to do an accounting update. Mark, are you on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Do you want to go ahead and just?
Well, yeah, I guess the only thing in terms of accounting announcements is that Lindsay Palmer, our corporate accountant, is moving into a training role, and that's bad for me. I gotta recruit a new accountant, but I think it's good for us as a whole. I think that we have somebody in that position now that's going to be homegrown, and she came out of Pullman and knows the site level well, and knows corporate accounting well, and she'll be able to link us together better. So we'll begin recruiting her replacement soon. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. And we're very excited. And personally, I'm kind of an odd way. I'm very proud of Lindsay. She's come a long way in a short period, and she's always been fantastic. But this is a great chance for her, and I'm excited to see what she can do with more of a training emphasis. So while we're sad to see her leave that aspect, we're very excited to see where she goes in her new position and focus. So thank you, Mark. And Mark talking reminded me I had to give my shout out to the Washington State Cougars who are having a historic year right now for them because they have a winning record this far into the season. So good job, Cougs. That's as far as you're going to get with me. Next, I'm going to turn the time over to Stephanie May, and she's going to go through some housekeeping issues and items. Are you there, Stephanie?
Yep, I am. Can you guys hear me?
I can. Hopefully everyone else can.
Sure.
Do you need me to give you the screen?
Yes, please. I'll share it in just a sec, but if you want to give it over to me now, that's fine.
All right. Hopefully this is the right one.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to go over a couple of different topics. First is our monthly reminder. If you guys have help desk questions, so please email helpdesk@horizonra.com rather than Clinton or I individually, just so we can make sure someone does take care of your ticket in a timely manner. And then the second kind of housekeeping thing is most of you have already noticed and reached out to us asking questions about the adjustment to the rights and roles and RealPage that we have recently made. We have limited the ability to move and edit payments and credits. If you guys need help doing this, if you post a payment to a wrong account or need money moved to a deposit ledger, right now just email helpdesk@horizonra.com and we can get that taken care of you quickly. And now I will show my screen. I'm just going to demonstrate a couple different things. Can you guys see my screen? Or Clint, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is uploading documents. And upload, when I say that, I'm meaning the application, the lease, and all the addendums that go with our residents moving in. It is a company policy to make sure that these documents are uploaded for every resident. It just helps during my remote auditing, and if at all we need to access a copy of the lease at any time, we can do so and not have to try to find it in the office and quickly upload it. So how you do this is you go into the residence account, and I'll show you RealPage, and then I'll show Entrada in case you don't know that. But for RealPage, you just go into the residence account and click the Docs tab. And you can look right here to see if there are any documents already uploaded. If not, you can just say Attach Document and then select the document type. If it is the lease, which most likely it will be, you'll just click Lease. And it will automatically default to the current lease. If they have renewed a couple of different times, then there will be a drop-down box right here for you to select which lease period your attachment is pertaining to, and you can just attach to that. And then one thing to note for the RealPage is if renewals sign online and complete the whole process via their resident portal, then they will be able to view their lease on the resident portal. If you're manually uploading it to their account, like I am right here, they won't be able to view that on their portal. So just a side note to make note of. For Entrada, sorry, this thing's in my way. How you do it is very similar. You go to the Documents tab, and you can either replace the lease or you can add a document. And oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. We're going to add a manual upload of a document. You can select exactly what it is and choose the file and say that it's the lease document. Right here, you will be able to choose if you want to display it in the resident portal or not, and if it requires counter signatures. If you're uploading a copy of the lease that they've manually signed, obviously we won't want to require counter signatures because it's already been signed. But that's how you guys upload documents. So just make sure you're doing that for all your pre-leases and renewals if they aren't processing them online, but hopefully they are. The next thing I wanted to talk about was descriptions on all charges and credits. We've noticed that a lot of the charges and credits are being left to the default description, and we want to make sure that you guys know the proper way to do this. If we can have you start entering your own descriptive descriptions, it would be helpful for us as well as for you guys, so you know exactly why someone received a charge or why someone received a credit or why they received a full month's rent for free or whatever it is. So when I'm going to demonstrate the concession. So when you type in concession, it's going to automatically default your description to this right here, one-time concession dash and their last name. If they're, for example, getting October rent for free, to say October free rent special, or whatever it is. So then when you go back into their ledger, you know exactly why they received a $700 concession, or $50 monthly concession, or whatever it is. And then also it helpful for you guys on the site as well as for me when I'm doing my auditing of concessions and of charges and all that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is how to properly, sorry, there's so much. The next thing is going to be about how to properly quote an applicant, and this pertains mainly to students. So when select a unit really quick, the big thing is to make it so we're not having a no prorate credit on the back end of our contracts, which we've been seeing quite a bit of lately. And so with how to make it so there isn't a no prorate credit on the back end is to choose the correct lease term number. So let me go in here real quick. So we're going to have a mid-November move-in of 11/15, and it's going to be 9 months because we want it to charge 9 full installments because that's how long the lease is. And you can see it, the system automatically defaults to an August 14th move-out because that's 9 months later after the move-in. Well, we want the lease to end on 7/31. So rather than changing the months to one less, we just want to adjust this end date to 7/31 and say recalculate. And that will get rid of the no prorate credit in August, and it will charge 9 full installments. So this is super important to make sure you guys are doing when you're quoting your all of your pre-leases, so we don't have that no prorate credit at the end. I'll finish this up just to show you real quick.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm just going to quickly go through it so I can show you guys the billing.
That's so awesome.
Okay, so once we have them quoted in that unit, we can see when we go to our future billing, there's going to be a no prorate charge for August, which we want, or not for August, excuse me, for November, which we want. But it will also, let's find it right here, it sets up a new billing to not prorate for that last month, and there are no prorate credits on this account. So when you guys do that, just make sure you're selecting the correct lease term with a correct lease end date. If you guys need any help, I'd be more than happy to walk you through a couple. Just reach out to me or help desk, and we can go ahead and help you do that. The last thing I wanted to go over really quickly is proper billing for skips. When you find a skip mid-month and you move them out of the system will charge rent through their move-out date to the code rent, but anything after their move-out date for base rent needs to be charged to the code LSBUY. And this is so it doesn't inflate our GPR. All the other charges can be coded to their normal codes, water, electric, utilities, whatever it is. But rent itself, base rent, does need to be charged to LSBUY.
Oh.
And that is all I have. If you guys have any questions on all the things I covered, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to clarify anything or walk you through how to do anything, but that should do it for me, Clint.
I have one follow-up comment if you have a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so everybody knows, I mean, some of the things that Stephanie's talking about here is a direct result of we've caught somebody stealing in our company, and so the owners take this really seriously, and when paperwork's not uploaded and we can't verify what their rent amounts are, and there's credits and concessions and stuff being posted that there's not good descriptions for, it's a serious thing that people really want to dig into. And so I encourage you guys, everything that Stephanie's talked about here is it's important to make sure that we're doing it right. So that's my only comment.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. And thank you so much, Stephanie. That was a lot of information. Stephanie always gets tasks with the housekeeping stuff to show. So she always does a great job. Thank you very much. All right, let me switch it on back to me. You guys see my screen now? Should have a man pointing at you.
Uh-huh.
All right. So this next section is a little more rah-rah than I normally like to do, but it's something I feel pretty strongly about, especially as our company is a big believer in it. If I start talking too fast, I apologize. I get excited really easily, especially when it comes to football. So I'm going to quickly just talk about Urban Meyer. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of him. He's that gentleman on your screen pointing that has this quote. The quote is, "It is so easy to be average. It takes a little something to be special. Why be around average?" Urban Meyer is a college football coach, so pretty important in my mind because I love football. He is known as being somebody who has always embraced innovation and change, and he's pretty good at it. Last year at Ohio State, he won the national championship. In 2008, he won the national championship at Florida. In 2004, he was someone that I looked up to quite a bit because I was just finishing college, getting near the end of my college career, and he was coaching at the University of Utah. And if you know anything about University of Utah, traditionally we've not been a big school or a big program. We've always been kind of a smaller kid brother type program. And he came in and really helped turn things around. In 2004, using limited athletes and resources, he brought a brand new offense into play called the spread offense. Essentially, it's an offense that opens up the field, quick decisions, relies on speed, and up-tempo offense. That's the quick and dirty of it. So he brought that to our little school that had middling success. And in 2003, we lost, I think, a couple games. In 2004, we went undefeated. We were the first small conference team to break the BCS. So if you know anything about college sports or college football, then you know that was a big deal. And I remember I skipped my very first midterm of that semester to go to one of the games. So it was a really exciting year. So he is a guy that knows what he's doing. So by using this new offense, he was able to take a nothing program and turn them into a winner. And then in subsequent years, he's been able to win national championships with 2 different schools. He is a pretty big deal. So why do I talk about him and really focus on him? Well, it's that innovation word I use. Change, to me, it has a very negative connotation, whereas innovation has a very positive connotation. And they're really the same word. Innovation means that you're making progress, you're revolutionizing, you're looking at things through a new way to hopefully make them better. And that is what Horizon is trying to do, especially with our big move to Entrada. Now, not all of our properties, and this is kind of an update, not all of our properties right now are going to be scheduled to go to Entrada. We recently made the decision that our conventional sites that are not on Entrada will remain on RealPage for the foreseeable future. Eventually, we want to move everybody, but we want to kind of play things out and have student on Entrada and conventional on RealPage. But when I think of Entrada, I think of innovation. That's why I wanted to talk about it, really focus on it. Everything that they're doing at Entrada is revolutionary. It is the first of its kind, or it is improving upon existing software. and I'm not trying to just sell you on it. I truly believe it, having worked closely with them. Very soon they're releasing an app, and it's the first software that has ever done this. Their own app where people have their portal on their phone, and they can get a reminder that pops up saying your rent is due. They can hit one thing and it will make a payment. It's something that is going to be very popular, I imagine, on our student sites. So I'm excited to roll it out, and that's not very far away. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to talk about it. And as we start going through this innovation and change in general, there's a few things we have to think about. Number one is we need to know that there's going to be a fluid discussion between all staff members. We're always trying to improve upon what is already existing. We don't want to get stuck in the mindset of this is how we've always done things, this is how we're going to continue to do it. Especially when we switch softwares, too often we get stuck trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and we try to make Entrata do what RealPage did, and that's not the point. If we wanted Entrata to do what RealPage did, we would just stay on RealPage. We want to adjust our processes to maximize the potential of the software. So as each of the student properties come online, there's a series of consultations that take place between myself, the regional, the manager, to help set up each of the processes, online leasing, applications, et cetera, so that they're maximized for what we're doing. So we want it always to be a discussion. We never want to feel set in our ways. We want to always be discussing and improving, and that also involves staff, site staff, and corporate staff. Let us know so that we can try to resolve things or improve upon things, especially in regards to Entrata or any innovation or change that's brought up through Horizon. All right, so that's going to take me right into my Entrata corner, where I'm going to talk about a few things that are worth noting on Entrata, and then we should be near the end of our call. So first point I want to bring up is Rent Collect Global. The integration is now ready to go for Entrata. Mountain View has been selected as our first property to try it, so we could just barely kick that off today with them. It's not ready to go yet, but we gave them the information, so we're excited by that. The hope is that as most of you come on next month and after the New Year's, that it will already be in place and will be pretty seamless so that we don't have to experience the same growing pains that we have so far with that partnership. The second thing I want to talk about really quickly is paperless update. One of the big reasons that we're wanting to do the innovation of Entrata is because it allows for increased paperless payments. We've talked about it a lot, but we're starting to see that success. This time last year, most of our properties were hovering in the 30%, 30 maybe to 40% people that were paying online. Right now, Mountain View is over 95% of people paying online. The Lodge and the Edge are both close to 90. One is slightly below it, one slightly above it. So that is amazing results, and that frees up so much time. That helps with delinquency. There's so many positive things that are coming from that I really wanted to emphasize that. And I believe Ellie's on the call. Ellie, would you be able to take just a minute or two to talk a little bit how you guys were able to get your numbers so high, over 95% paperless? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, just so if you could just take a couple minutes, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I hope you get to enjoy some tacos on this Taco Tuesday. I just want to talk about Entrata and the paperless program. As Clint mentioned, it really is beneficial for everybody. I don't know how many times people come in to pay with a check, and they're like, man, I don't ever use checks. This is the only place I use it. So we kind of ran with that, and we were able to be successful. One, my team is all in. If we want to implement a program, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They understand the benefits, and they do whatever it takes to make sure that we succeed. Big shout out to Susan. She's been the brains behind it, the bronze behind it. She's ensured that she doesn't accept checks. She treats them like cash, basically. I'm sorry, I know I want to take your payment right now, but I can't. We were also able to be successful. We marketed it. Not only did we get the paperless program kits from Entrata, or Property Solutions, whoever you want to call it, we developed our own. We sent out mass emails, which you can do within Entrata. We papered every single door. We papered all of our common areas, and then as people were coming in, we reminded them, don't forget September 1st or whatever date that you designate. That's when we go paperless. Why don't we get you set up with your resident portal now? That was our biggest success because people, as you know, will wait until the very last minute to set their stuff up. And so we kind of took the liberties to help them set it up beforehand to make sure that they were prepared come the day that we rolled out our paperless and we weren't able to help them because it was pretty hectic, because you always have your stragglers that weren't trying to be proactive. So that's how we tried to handle it the best way, is just being proactive, getting the message out, and making sure that everybody was on board. We did receive some pushback with people refusing to pay online and that kind of stuff, and it was mostly our older generation of crowd. So what we did is we helped them set up a reoccurring payment, very much similar to bill pay. We remind people that it's just as safe, if not safer, because you're not having to process checks in-house. People actually go online. It's the same as banking with us almost. And so we try to outshine them by offering the benefits of, we're trying to do our part with the environment. We're going paperless. We don't want to have to kill any more trees that are already dead, or saving time. It's as easy as clicking a button and setting up your information. It's a little bit heavy on the front end, but that's about it. So just maintain your positive outlook on it and really push for it, because honestly, behind you, it's best for your account managers, and it really helps you focus on resident retention, lease up, and then also making sure that your residents are happy.
Can I say something real quick, Clint?
Yeah.
Being the account manager, those of you who are concerned about going paperless, it has really, really freed up more of my time to do things that matter, like collections and different things like that in-house. So it has really helped a lot in that area, so that I can target my time and whatnot to other places. So it's really been beneficial in that area as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate both of your input on that. I know there's been a lot of nervousness going up to it. We've had nothing but positive results from it. And one of the points, I liked all the points that both of you just mentioned, but one of my favorite aspects is the way that you took it as a customer service opportunity. And we've started seeing this on other sites as well, is when people come into the office, take the opportunity to sit down with them and show them how to do it. Now that actually leads into one of the things I want to show you that is really cool about Entrata. One of our problems in RealPage is when somebody comes in and they say, I'm seeing this online, we just have to either take their word for it, or they have to log in on our computer so that we can see it, and it's a little bit of a pain. But one of the cool things about Entrata is we have a way that we can actually, if they have a resident account, that we can see what they're seeing. So when you're in someone's account, on the right-hand side, there's an icon for resident login. When you click on it, it essentially takes you right into their account, and you're seeing exactly what they're seeing. So if you do that, they can sit down with you, and you can show them this is how you can make a payment. This is how you can submit a work request. Or if they're online, they're saying, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. You can go right on and say, okay, look at the bottom left of your screen where it says your lease is ready. Click on that, and you can help them directly over the phone.
I'm back.
I'm sorry? All right, maybe that wasn't for me. But what was the question? Or is that someone else talking?
I laughed. Muted. Unmuted.
Anyway, it's a really nice feature that we're excited about. It's something that RealPage didn't offer that can actually help us serve our customers, our residents, even better. So that's one thing. Another thing I wanted to show you really quickly, and this will be the last thing before we kind of wrap up, is this help support feature at the top of the screen. It's pretty dynamic. It's really nice. I think it's a big improvement over what we're used to. If you click on it, there's a few icons you can go into, and one of them is general help. And they have a knowledge base. And if you're on Entrata now and you've not tried this, you should really give it a shot. You can type something in here like tiered renewals, and it's going to pull up everything that's tied to it. There's the simulation where you can go into it, and it's going to show you how to set it up. There's a video you can watch. There's different information. Mega rates, which is a new topic we're going to be talking about next month. It's going to show you about that. Here's a guide. Here's 3 different training courses that touch on tiered renewals, and here's some frequently asked questions. And so it's a really dynamic help section, and so we encourage people to take a look at that when you have time. Because we all know that you guys have nothing but time, but it is something that is really nice to take a look at. Whenever we set up new users and logins, it's going to have training coursework, kind of like Grace Hill, but built into Entrata. If you ever want to take any of those or see other coursework, you can click on that, and they're all right here. And you can take those at any time as a nice refresher. Stephanie and I actually do these, her probably more than me, but to stay up on things and make sure we know how to do things properly. So that is a nice thing. If you have any tickets in the system, if you've submitted any through Entrata, you can actually see where they're at and communicate through here. So I can click on one and I can say, okay, this has been resolved, and I can report it that way, and it will be taken care of. So it's one of the nice things about the system is that you can actually see the status in the notes for all of your tickets inside the system instead of trying to hunt through your emails. So the last thing I want to quickly point out before we end the call is this product update section. So under help and support again, product updates, this is going to tell you all of the updates that are either just coming out or that are coming soon. Entrata is very, very innovative, if you've not gotten sick of that word yet today. And they make a lot of changes. They employ hundreds of developers, so they're constantly tweaking it. So you can take a look at past updates or coming soon to get an idea of some of the changes they're making. For example, this very top one I thought was pretty cool. They've updated their repayment agreement so we can actually track the agreement length, what the original balance was, what their schedule was, and the status. So things like that that are coming soon, fantastic to know about. So again, if you have 5 minutes while you're eating your food at your desk, because I know we all probably take our lunch at our desk, you could breeze through that and see some of those exciting things. So I'll kind of wrap up with that. I appreciate all of your time as you come through or come onto these calls. I know that you have a busy life and busy work, so thank you everyone that participated. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll record this and put it on YouTube and on Grace Hill a little bit later today. If you have not already put your name and your property in the chat window, please do so that I know that you came and you sat through this wonderful, wonderful, informative presentation. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a good day.
Thank you.
Let me just get off this call. Well, we're done anyway.